Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving deep into one of the oldest and most reliable ways to build real wealth, real estate. But here's the twist. We're talking about how to do it passively. Making money while you sleep, creating income streams that work for you, not the other way around. Let's get right into it.
So when you hear the phrase real estate investor, what's the first thing that pops in your head? For most of us, it's that classic image of a landlord, right? Getting that frantic 2 a.m. call about a burst pipe or a clogged toilet. It just sounds exhausting, like you're signing up for a whole other full-time job.
But what if I told you that whole nightmare scenario is, well, it's kind of outdated. Today, thanks to technology and some really smart strategies, you can get all the amazing benefits of owning real estate without ever having to touch a plunger.
Okay, let's start with the absolute basics, the core concept. Why has real estate been such a powerhouse for building wealth for like centuries? It really boils down to one simple thing. You are buying a tangible, physical asset that is designed to pay you in two different ways at the exact same time.
First, you've got cash flow. That's the rent money that shows up in your bank account every single month like clockwork. And second, you have appreciation. This means that over the long haul, the property itself becomes more valuable. It's this incredible 1-2 punch that makes real estate such a potent wealth-building machine.
But hold on, cash flow and appreciation? That's really just the beginning. The real engine that drives your wealth is actually a combination of 4 powerful forces all working together. We're going to call these the 4 pillars.
Okay, so we know pillars 1 and 2, cash flow and appreciation. But check this out. Here's where it gets supercharged. Pillar 3 is loan paydown. Just think about this for a second. Your tenant's rent is paying off your mortgage for you. Every month, you own a little bit more of the asset without lifting a finger. And then there's Pillar 4, tax benefits. The government gives real estate investors some huge advantages, like letting you deduct expenses and something called depreciation. All 4 of these working together, that's what makes the engine really hum.
So the million-dollar question is, how do you tap into these 4 pillars without becoming that stressed-out, hands-on landlord from our nightmares? Well, let's explore 3 totally different paths you can take today, each with its own pros and cons.
All right, path number 1 is what I like to call the hands-off landlord. You still own a physical property, a house, a duplex, whatever, but you immediately hire a professional property manager to handle literally everything. Finding tenants, collecting rent, fixing that 2 a.m. toilet, they do it all. Your job simply becomes managing your manager, which might just be a quick phone call or email each month.
So how do you get started on this path? Now, this is absolutely crucial, so listen up. Look at step 3. You hire your property manager first, before you even look at properties. Why? Because they are the single most important person on your team. They know the local market inside and out, and they'll help you find a place where the rent actually covers all your costs, including their fee.
Path number 2 is perfect if you want maximum simplicity and you like the idea of being able to sell quickly. This is becoming a public market investor through REITs, that's R-E-I-T, and it stands for Real Estate Investment Trust. You're basically buying shares, just like a stock, in a huge company that owns and operates massive portfolios of real estate. Think shopping malls, giant apartment complexes, you name it.
So what's the big deal with REITs? What makes them such a popular way to get income? It all comes down to one magic number, 90%. By law, these companies are required to pay out at least 90% of their taxable income back to you, the shareholder, as dividends. That means you are getting a direct piece of the rental income from a massive diversified portfolio. It's an incredible income machine.
And getting started is about as easy as it gets. You can do it through any standard brokerage account. And here's a pro tip. For instant diversification, you can just buy a REIT ETF. That's an exchange-traded fund. Think of it like a basket that holds hundreds of different REITs all at once. You buy one thing and you're done. It is the definition of passive investing.
And that brings us to path number 3, the truly modern approach, real estate crowdfunding. This is where technology has just blown the doors off the old way of doing things. Online platforms let you pool your money with thousands of other people to invest directly into specific projects, like maybe helping to fund the construction of a brand new apartment building.
The process here is just unbelievably simple. You find a platform you trust, you create an account, and you start browsing for investments that look interesting to you. And the best part? The minimums are often super low, sometimes just $100 or so, which makes it one of the most accessible ways for anyone to get into direct real estate investing.
Okay, so seeing these three paths side by side like this makes the trade-offs crystal clear, doesn't it? The hands-off landlord gives you the most control, but it takes the most money to start and your cash is tied up. REITs are the exact opposite. Totally passive, you can sell anytime, and you can start with the price of one share. And crowdfunding? Well, it's kind of in the middle. You get low minimums to invest in specific deals, but you absolutely have to be okay with your money being locked up for several years.
Now, this all sounds pretty amazing, and it is. But it is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Like any real investment, there are some major pitfalls that can turn a great opportunity into a huge financial headache if you're not careful.
You see, being a smart investor isn't just about finding the good deals. It's about knowing how to avoid the bad ones. So don't think of this part as scary. Think of it as the knowledge that's going to protect your money and set you up for success.
Let's talk about the three big ones you have to watch out for. First, especially if you're a hands-off landlord, is miscalculating your expenses. You have to budget for things like vacancies and big repairs. A new roof isn't an if, it's a when. Second, for crowdfunding, you have to respect that it's illiquid. This isn't the stock market. Your money is locked in for 5 years, maybe more. And third, and this is a big one for everyone, is focusing only on appreciation. Chasing a hot market hoping prices go up without positive cash flow, that isn't investing. That's just gambling.
And that really brings us to the single most important rule in passive real estate. You need to burn this into your brain. The saying goes, invest for cash flow first, appreciation is the icing on the cake. Your cash flow is what pays the bills and keeps the investment alive. The appreciation is that amazing, wonderful bonus you get at the end. But it can't be your only plan.
So as we wrap this up, the real question isn't, is passive real estate a good investment? The real question is, which of these paths is the right fit for you? Do you want the control and tax breaks of owning a property yourself? Do you prefer the total simplicity and liquidity of the stock market? Or are you excited by the low barrier to entry of modern crowdfunding? The right answer really depends on your money, your timeline, and your personal goals for building that generational wealth.